to be young is to kick against the pricks. The pricks are liberals, so you kick against the liberals. And I think some of that intergenerational logic is at work at the moment, that we have had a quarter century of a kind of liberal hegemony, in the Gramscian sense of a kind of intellectual hegemony. This comes at a time when, number one, there's what I call a global anti-liberal counter-revolution, Putin and others going against it. Number two, the West has got into a frightful mess as a result of the financial crisis. And number three, you have this world historical development, something to be measured over centuries, of the rise of China. All of that comes together to create this really critical moment where liberty is suddenly very much under attack. For years we saw it rolling forward. Now we see it being rolled backwards in Turkey, for example. I don't think most Europeans have woken up to what a critical moment this is, to the fact that we're now on quite thin ice and that things are happening round the edges of Europe already that we thought unthinkable a few years ago. Here's the irony, that one of the marks of a successful political community is it tells a great story about itself being the future. And in a sense, Europe is a victim of its own success. It's told such a great story that people believe it. Of course, it's unthinkable that European countries should go to war. You know. And somehow, despite the fact that we had 4 wars of the Yugoslav succession, despite the fact that there is a kind of war going on in Europe at the moment in eastern Ukraine, despite the floods of refugees coming across in tiny boats from North Africa and the Middle East, despite Syria, people still are in this kind of cloud cuckoo land.